In this video, I want to tell you about a really cool Chinese holiday that goes by lots of different names because Buddhists celebrate it, Chinese celebrate it. I want to tell you about this holiday, and it might confuse you because you've heard of other holidays that sound really similar. Zhongyuan, I think I'm saying that right, is a Chinese festival that's celebrated by Taoists and by Buddhists. This is the word that you would see in Sanskrit, but it's spelled in lots of different ways as well. There it is in case you want to look it up on the internet. In the Ghost Festival, the main point is to show respect and honor for your deceased ancestors and for the deceased people in general. So there are different things that you would do in order to show respect for the dead. During the Ghost Festival, Taoists and Buddhists will literally cook really nutritious, delicious meals and then leave them as offerings for the ghosts. Individuals will also use paper to make things like purses or cars or houses or, in modern day times, cell phones, and leave them as offerings for the ghosts or spirits, so that when the spirits come into the natural world here on earth, they will see that we have left them food and all sorts of things that they need. Other things that people do is light incense and leave lanterns floating on water. These lights and smells help guide the ghosts and spirits around the natural world. People will also perform entertaining dances and songs for the spirits to come and enjoy. So during this festival, if you go to China or Japan or India or anywhere that there is a Taoist or a Buddhist celebrating the Ghost Festival, like in Taiwan or in Singapore, you will see that people are leaving the front row of a performance studio empty because the idea is that that's for the spirits. And just like when we have the food offerings, you will see people setting the table with plates of really good food, but the seats remain empty because those are for the spirits. Is any of this sounding similar to other religions or other cultures that you've heard about? If you're already familiar with Eastern religions, then the Ghost Festival might remind you of Qingming. And Qingming is the Confucius holiday, which is called Tomb Sweeping Day. Here, Confucians will go to the place where they have buried their ancestors, and they will clean the cemetery, leaving them food and candles and incense and presents. And if you're in America, you've probably heard of Dia de los Muertos. And that's the Day of the Dead as well, where Hispanics will go to the cemetery. They will clean the cemetery where they have buried their ancestors, leaving them really delicious food and presents and lighting candles. So you might already be familiar with this idea that we should respect our ancestors, our deceased. Halloween. Despite what it has turned into in Western countries, the idea of Halloween goes back hundreds of years, where people thought that the ghosts or spirits would come from the other world to the natural world, and that we could interact with them. And that if we leave them gifts or give them candy or were to please them somehow, then they would not play tricks on us or leave bad luck for us. But Halloween goes back a long time. It's actually related to a Christian holiday. And now I've added the version celebrated in the Philippines, the version that is celebrated in Japan, the version that is celebrated in Korea. It turns out that this ancient Taoist and Buddhist holiday is celebrated in lots of different countries and cultures and religions in a slightly different way. And I stumbled when I wanted to say day because for the Taoists and for the Buddhists, it's not just a day. If you look at the Chinese holidays, it's actually the 7th month of the year according to the lunar calendar. The Chinese have a lunar calendar, and the 7th month is Ghost Month. They celebrate the second whole half of the month, and this is just a festival that's one piece of a very larger holiday. Let's zoom out here. There are Taoists and Buddhists and Koreans and Catholics and Japanese and Filipino and Aztec and Mayan and Confucius people. These are people from the New World and the Ancient World, from all over the globe. All of them seem to have found a day or a way to honor the deceased.